Call to order at 6:02. This one is working, I think. Yeah, okay. Might just be this one over here, though.
Testing, testing, testing.
Okay.
Joe.
So the first item for discussion on for any consideration is the bid award and agreement for Town Square Avenue Improvements Project, STP 5407. City Engineer, would you like to give the board an update on that?
Yes. So item one, I would like to request 2 readings for this item. This is in order to keep the deadlines with the funding schedule. And this is simply just for the bid award of the project. The project is the Town Square Avenue improvements. It'll consist of asphalt milling and paving from about Winghaven Boulevard, correct? Yeah. All the way to the bridge crossing 360. This will also include some curb reconstruction, sidewalk reconstruction, stuff along that. We received 5 bids for this. All bids were responsible bidders. The low bidder was Burns and Jones Construction with a low bid of $674,000. Staff recommends awarding this bid construction services to Burns and Jones Construction. Also, it should be noticed that staff is recommending a contingency funding of 18.6% of the construction contract amount, which would be held in reserve by the city. This purpose of the contingency request is to allow for expedited approval of additional work related to site conditions for the city's request. Any questions? Correct. No, that's the point of the contingency. If there is any additional work that needs to be done, the contingency will cover that without having to come back to you guys to request more money. Even with this contingency, the requested amount of 800,000 is still less than the budgeted amount of 835,000 with the contingency built in. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Correct. Correct. I believe this is a good company and we shouldn't have this problem.
If I could add, one thing that Matt has noticed is that our budget estimates for the grants does not include any utility relocation work, any utility work, and that's what came up on Stump Road pretty consistently and pretty significantly. And so I think going forward, we would like to see those design and construction estimates, or the construction estimates, include those kinds of contingency items because they do come up on all of our road, on any road.
Correct.
Project, not just.
Discussion on the Town Square Avenue Improvements Project. Heard? Thank you. Here. Matt, would you please also give us an update on the agreement? Associates for design work and replacement of the culverts to Stony Brook Drive, and tell us a little more about that project and why it's important and what we're going to do.
So item 2, I'm also requesting 2 readings. To speedline this process, this project needs to take place fairly quickly as the county's maintenance agreement for Stony Brook Drive. They want to mill and fill, but they need this culvert work done prior to their start of their work. We don't want to come in, have them mill and fill, and then we come in and cut off the road, put in new culverts. So we're trying to streamline this process. We received 2 proposals, and I am recommending awarding OS Associates for the design of these proposals of $21,000. This was an unbudgeted item that was placed under the Stormwater Master Plan. In the future, the Stormwater Master Plan will utilize every bit of its $150,000 budget. So this $21,000 taken from that, the budget will need to be revised in the future to cover this amount. The need for this project are the 3 culverts currently under Stony Brook Drive are CMP, so they're corrugated metal pipe culverts, and they've rusted out and they've started to fail. They're actually crushing, which then allows backups and stuff. They get clogged. So we are wanting to replace those culverts with HDPE pipe, plastic triple double wall pipe. It lasts longer. It's cheaper. But Oates Associates will be the designer. We're the low designer for this proposal, and I recommend awarding that to Oates Associates, the design services. They will when they put in the culverts, they'll fill all the way up with the aggregate, and they will put hot mix asphalt in, and then that will just be milled out again with the county's project. So it'll be a finished product, but then once again the county will come through and make it all one continuous. Well, this is just for the design services. This is not the construction services. Yeah, this is just for the my bad. Just for the design services.
Okay. And just to the board, between items 1 and 2, are there any objections to 2 readings of the items tonight? I will say that the one, there's already been positive activity on Town Square Avenue Improvements Project before. It's for this is approving the vendor. Second one, that just gave us the reason why it's time sensitive. Does the board have any issue doing 2 readings on either of these?
So I know there's currently a hump there. The plans for this project do plan to remove that hump, but for the most part, it's just a mill and fill. So it's curb line to curb line, 2 inches out, 2 inches back. Correct. With this project, no. All that will be included in post roads reconstruction itself. Yeah. For thought.
Is there any design for post road that's out there right
I think it's under design. It's not even under design yet. It's not even under design yet. No.
So this is a grant funded project, correct?
Correct.
And
Correct.
so the grant application would have included specific improvements. If we make changes to what was identified in the grant, we would have to go back through
Correct.
and get that approved. Just
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Alderman Johnson. Any other Alderman have? So let's go to the Board of Alderman agenda for the regular meeting tonight. Had several items on discussion. Are there any questions or comments about what's on the rural business for the agenda?
I have a question. The old business, the Ferry Point, are they going to be coming tonight? Because I've had some calls from Winter Meadow residents that want to know about if it's going to be a presentation tonight.
so there's already been a presentation on this project, so there wouldn't be. You here representing Prairie Point? Do you plan to address the board during the public hearing? No, it wasn't communicated and tabled to when? Yeah, we can't hear. So we'll wait during public hearing. You can approach and discuss.
So we'll wait to talk Prairie Point. Well, Alderman Meyer, is there anything else you want? So now we just want to wait until
No.
you hear a comment. Any other items on the regular meeting? I know that like to bring up. Okay. Nothing heard. We will move to staff communications. We will have a closed session here for the audience's understanding. We'll move into closed session here. Go through a little quickly right now. Upcoming. So city attorney, city engineer, anything further?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's go.
I have an update on Post Road Phase 1. The city has received the preliminary plans. They're currently under review. We're meeting with the designer tomorrow to talk through the preliminary plans themselves. The Henning Road TAP project is still under design. The consultant is working on environmental and RER submittals to MoDOT. And then Stump Road, it's been diamond grinded. And they're still finishing up a few punch list items with landscaping to the monuments to the subdivisions. They still got to do some crack sealing and some few pavement replacements in some spots, including sidewalk. And then they'll stripe, and that project should be wrapped up hopefully in the next. I like saying the next month, but with the weather, we'll see how it is. But the contractors seem to get the ball rolling. They're wanting to finish it up, so it should be done in the next month, I would hope. That's all I have.
City administrator.
Important that we get out there early on this and that we have something in place well before snow. And then I also wanted to share that we've had a really good response to the posting for the public works supervisor, and we actually have our first interview tomorrow.
Great news. Thanks for the update. Alderman.
Yes, I have something. I know are you here? Okay. I know Matt was talking about the Stump Road. I know one of the things you didn't mention, which was part of the thing, that they removed a bunch of trees from the side yard by Joel, and they were supposed to do stump grinding. Is that still on?
It's still to come.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Hansons. It's the weather. You know,
get
getting in there. They don't want to get in there when it's all wet, and they've just been backlogged. It's still coming.
Anybody else have any other comments or thoughts you'd like to bring forward?
Okay, can you hear me, Joel? Can Okay, all right, well, get it fixed earlier today. So, I called Ameren to see if I could get this done, but I didn't get very far. So, Matt, I don't know what you could do, but they have made a mess at every pole where they put a new pole in. And sometimes they've left the old pole still there, which is broke off. So that's kind of a cleanup that needs to be done from the rehab center all the way down to Osman Elementary. There's gravel that they left, just chunks of gravel. There's ruts that, you know, need to be taken care of. And then charter. If you can get charter to get those lines picked up, you know, that would be a help. I know Amy's got ticket numbers, I've got ticket numbers, but they're still laying down and it's making it difficult for Stonebridge Church to mow and then for the rehab center to go in and out their one exit area. So if somebody could do that, that would be great. Thank you.
I do know with Ameren, they are still backlogged with the city because I got a job waiting for them to pull meter and they told me it'd probably be another month.
Yeah. Well,
They can come on and pull meter. So
yeah, I know they're really backlogged, but I didn't want this to fall off of their radar. And apparently the only way you can get it done is to have a ticket. So, you know, I just want to make sure we don't wait until winter and then they can't fix what they didn't fix.
Thank you for that. All right, any other comments or thoughts from the Alderman? Got a little bit of time here, so.
like to pick it.
All right, guys. So that comes to the mayor. So I've got a bit of an update. So resolution went over to O'Fallon regarding the temporary stoplight over off Technology Drive, Golden Spring Road. I think we've talked about it every meeting for the last 2 or 3 months. I think everyone's aware of it, issue and problems and the accidents that are causing, especially at high traffic times. I got a call from Hennessy. We chatted about it. They are in the process of going through the MoDOT, because it's a MoDOT road. They're in the process of going through and looking. And they're in the process of getting a stoplight, but it's a process that takes, they got to go through, jump through the, call them MoDOT hoops, and get the approval. Signed, they got to get the approval. But it's also the cost of it is something that Mayor Hennessy asked if we'd like to contribute board for that. So this is something that so with the board, I wanted to kind of get a pulse from the board what the appetite was. Of course, we don't have any money budgeted for this, supporting this project. But thoughts from the board on what they thought about contributing towards this effort, because it is affecting our residents. It's no found project that created the problem, but it affects our residents, how we would want to. So, push that out to the board for any thoughts or comments. In the meantime, Kathy, would you mind? The administrators are not talking about it as well. Kathy will.
So City Administrator Mike Snowden approached me this morning and indicated that the mayors had talked and that, you know, would the city consider participating in the cost to support this? I asked him what the cost was estimated. And he said it's $100,000 for the temporary signal, which I believe every bit of. So he suggested a 60-40 split on the costs, which would be $40,000 for Garden Prairie. I don't know that that's reasonable, but that would be up to you all if you want to, one, participate in the cost, and two, at what level.
Why is it temporary? What's gonna happen after? I guess after the road is finished, there's gonna be,
It's a complete block off of that. That's why they're fixing the road on the other side on Crusher and Weldon Spring, is because that's a high traffic volume area. It's poorly slope. It was very, have you ever been over that way? Just a poor design. It wasn't designed volume of traffic, especially considering the apartment complex right. They fix it, that will become harder to get in and out of it. Most of the time people off. And on top of that, if they're trying to go towards right at that intersection and they make it faster. Really, a Waterford subdivision is probably the only ones that follows in west. That intersection. Because of this road work, all those other just, it's creating that traffic jam. And I don't think long term, and I'm not an expert on this, but just observations. I think short term, it probably is a safety factor, and long term, I'd say would probably be more of a factor to have it there when it's not needed. Kind of the problem now, but long answer to a short question, but I don't think that.
Hmm.
I defer to Ward 3 Alderman. I know you guys
And-
are out there all the time.
And we're working on replacing that road there also. It'll be the first phase, Weldon Springs Road, which will put a bigger intersection in there with turn lanes and all that. So you want, with the reduction of traffic, and once that gets done, there won't be a need for a stoplight permanently there.
As far as the cost goes, I'll just kind of throw my 2 cents in there. I think it's a faith effort to Fallon, and also to our residents who are there, but certainly didn't create this road work and this assaulted on problem. I don't think 60/40 is really publicly. I don't think it's an option, but I think maybe 20/80, I think, would make more sense to me as a good faith effort to our neighbors, O'Fallon, and our residents specifically, more than that. We're contributing to help solve the problem.
That would be my recommendation. Go with 206.
Absolutely.
I do have a question. So when it comes to working with O'Fallon, because they own a lot of the streets, these are the things we have to go through from this point on. I'm just asking for like future things. You have to work with O'Fallon. They're gonna like probably ask us to split it in half or percentage, even though they own the streets. You think?
It's actually a MoDOT road.
Oh, that's a MoDOT road, but other streets.
So on one side, so it's about whose residents are affected by it.
Okay.
O'Fallon and Garden Prairie residents are affected by it. They closed the road down entirely in their city. That intersection is 100% back,
Yeah.
with no idea on anything. So they did that, but it impacts our residents. So that's why we're that's why we put the resolution. Prompted him to get me called and we had a discussion about it. That was his proposal. Says, okay, what do you guys want us to do?
I'm speaking for future. It's how it is.
Like I said, it's not about Fallon Streets or Garden Prairie Street. It's about a project that.
Ryan,
But I'll let city administrator or anybody else.
what I'd like to see come out of this is when we get our first phase done at Weldon Springs Road, the second phase will connect to O'Fallon to where we could possibly work with them to get theirs done the same time we're doing ours. You know what I mean? Because that road continues on. So I think it'd also be a good faith to open door to work with them, especially once we get, I mean, Bill's pretty good to work with. I mean, he's been stubborn on some things, but I'll tell you what, their aldermen are more stubborn than Bill is.
It's
That's
good
for
to know. I
sure.
just didn't know.
No, I agree. I think that it's a good faith gesture. And we've got some other things that are kind of still cooking. I know we've talked about the Waterford Crossing Road as well. That's resurfaced. It's not resolved. Road going into Waterford Crossing, so it's something we're addressing right now. So there are a number of issues that are on the plate, and we're going to continue to have to work with O'Fallon on some of these cross-cutting issues, and I think it's a faith effort. So that being said, in order for us, what's the process for us to?
I believe you're going to need an authorizing ordinance.
So at that point, all in favor?
Aye.
Need a roll call? Okay, so that's a motion. I will, with that being said, that's all I have right now for the work session. Entertain a motion to close session pursuant to RSMO 610.021 section 3. Motion, need a motion? By Carla, second by. Right. Oh, Deputy Clerk, move roll call vote. All right, we'll move to closed session.